Hello. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope everyone is doing better than fantastic and working hard to a better you. Because here's the thing. You have a lot of good you can do in your life. And sadly some say that saying you're special is a wrong thing to do. Because it feeds into the narcissism of the victim of the narcissist. But what I believe it's all in the context. Here's the reality. You might have a really ordinary and plain life. Or at least to what we as a society deem as plain. But in this ordinary and so-called plain life, you might do one thing that is extraordinary. You might raise a wonderful son or daughter that might go on to use what they learned in your household to do something really good in the world. You might in one instance help someone out there that needs the help. And that might help turn that person's life around. And it might not even be directly. It might just be from just your example of you just being you and working hard to better yourself. You know, we often hear, if we just did one decent thing here or there in our sinful life, to try to make this world a better place, or to try to help others, all the world's problems might not be completely fixed. But there would be a lot of people able to get to the next step and or point in their life where they can have the chance. The simple chance to try. To try to live their life and do things one might consider ordinary. But things that might still be of a help to not only themselves, but to others. And we can't get there if we don't understand that we have gifts. Some more prominent than others. Sure. But gifts nonetheless. And we can't realize those gifts if we are feeling down about ourselves. Which is what the narcissists out there want us to feel like. And if we feel like we don't want to even get out of bed. So I will indeed say. You're special. You have gifts. You have talents. And it's time to work on them and hone and sharpen them. So you can get out there and start living. So you can fulfill your life's potential for one. And for two. You never know whose life you will touch in a positive manner by doing such a thing. Now with that being said, I want to get on with the topic today. And that is, why does the narcissist ask your opinion about things? Now it's important to note. This can happen in many different scenarios. Work scenarios. Romantic relationship scenarios. Family dynamic scenarios. So-called friend scenarios. And the list goes on and on. Look. Narcissists by and large ask your opinion about things. Not because they care what you think. But they want to know if you will be on board with whatever craziness they are plotting. And if they are needing to get ahead of the cart, so to speak, and run a smear campaign on you. And this happens a lot. A lot. At work. Have you ever worked for a company that comes to you and other workers possibly, and they say they want to have a focus group about possible new changes coming to the company? And they want to know what their employees think. So they know what direction to go. Because they really care about their employees. Look. When a company does this, they by and large already have this new company policy all mapped out and ready to go. And could care less what you or I think or feel about it. But the reason why they have a focus group or meeting about it, or they ask you to fill out a survey, which is another popular one. Surveys that are supposed to be anonymous. The reason why they do all of this is, for one, to be able to publicly say they are a fair company. Remember, the narcissist always loves to put out a false public image. So when the true victim or target of the narcissist speaks up and says they are being mistreated, the narcissist can point to where you had a voice and they so-called cared about your opinions. And the other reason why they have such meetings and ask for your opinions is to see who is going to try to see the logical problems of such plans and point them out. And the reason why they want to see who's going to stand up and question things is so they can very quickly and covertly start to target you. Because narcissists can't stand those that are going to ruin their fake scripted movie. And they will do anything they have to in order to control this fake scripted movie, including getting rid of you from the company, so to speak. Has this ever happened to you before? And it might not have right away. But like a month or so after an important meeting, you had a yearly work review. And you felt like you did great that year. But for some reason they are talking to you like you are the worst employee in the company that better make some improvements quickly, otherwise you might be out of a job. And you are scratching your head thinking, what is going on here? Then after that review, you feel like you are always being watched and criticized. And here's the other thing. Narcissists can't stand to be criticized themselves. And it's very, very possible this new company policy that is being implemented was their idea. And they are trying to look good to their bosses by making such a new policy a success. And here you are, though being very nice and polite, finding the problems in their grand idea. This will create a narcissistic injury very deep within the narcissist, to where they will have to get you back. No matter if it's right there or 6 months later. And it might be 6 months later too. Things might be doing well. Then out of nowhere, they start targeting you. Here's what I've learned in places of business especially. Be very careful about giving your opinion about things. Because you never know who the narcissist is in the room. Yes. There are some more obvious than others. But with that said, we've all been shocked at one point or another. Within in regards to who the narcissist in the room really was. Someone that might have been kind and nice to us for a long time. All of a sudden they are targeting us for what we feel is no reason. But it's possible. Either they are now letting their mask slip. Or we said something to them that triggered a narcissistic injury within them. Now this doesn't mean to not give your opinion. But what one has to understand is likely. If they are having a focus group about some new policy, it's likely that new policy will get implemented regardless of what you say or do. And this meeting or focus group is just to see who's going to be what they consider to be the one to point out the obvious flaws in this new system or policy. So they can effectively deal with this person so they can't disturb the flow of whatever this policy is trying to accomplish. When you understand that, you can speak up. But with the mind frame of this policy is going to be what it is. However, you are trying to understand it better. Or provide an add-on. All of this while you think within yourself if this is a company you want to continue to work for. Here's a question for you. How many of you got into the trap of trying to talk sense into your narcissist parent or parents on the crazy course they were directing your family in? I know I did. And I did it so much it trained me to being that way with my ex Susie. Which I will add. Narcissists actually like this because it feeds them supply. Even in the workplace. By standing up like this, you are giving the narcissist the green light in their mind anyways to come after you. And trust me, they do. And in the family dynamic, they see it as a revolving door of premium narcissistic supply. You keep talking truth to them. And nothing gets better. And you stick around, keep trying to talk truth them instead of trying to escape. I know. I was there. But here's the approach I now use. I listen. I just listen. And before I say a thing, I think about my narcissist mother or my ex Susie. And I think, there's nothing I can say that will change these people's mind. Because more than likely at least one of them is a narcissist. And this goes back to not casting your pearls before swine. I believe God in the Bible tells us this. Because He knows. Nothing good will come of you casting your pearls before swine. But oftentimes what can happen as a result is one big mess. So I listen. I slow things down and I listen. And I think before I speak. And I think to myself, is this a company I want to continue to work at? There are many people that we've seen just one day up and quit. They put in their 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks ago. And they show up to work saying today is their last day. They seemed so happy and so content. Or so we thought. But these are the people I've come to learn from. They probably knew. There was no changing this company. Just like there was no changing the narcissist ex we were once dating or married to. Or parents. And what this person did was have healthy boundaries. They knew when to keep their pearls to themselves and they silently worked on themselves and opportunities and escaped in a quiet and polite manner. Now maybe they might go on to another company that might do the same. But what this person is doing here is building muscle memory, so to speak. Practice doesn't make perfect. But it does make better. Once you get up and out of one bad situation, it becomes easier and easier to spot a bad situation and get out of them as they come along because you've done it before. You've made it a habit. But this all comes back to, why do narcissists ask your opinion? Now you might be at work and your boss literally asks your opinion on something because they really care. And you've built up a good relationship with them. But even then, it's good to have boundaries. You see, what I've learned over the years is not everyone needs to know every thought in your head. Nor should they. And it's these boundaries that can greatly help us in the world. Because though not everyone is a narcissist, the world can be dog eat dog, so to speak. Like one of my subscribers mentioned. And sharing your every thought might not be the safest thing to do. Is it okay to share? Yes. But within reason. And with boundaries. And that brings me to relationships. Dating and marriage relationships. Just like work. When they are asking your opinion about certain things, they are just data mining. They want to gather as much information as they can about your thought process so they can stay as many steps ahead of you as possible. They might even ask your opinion about something that doesn't seem to be very important at all. But what they are doing is trying to understand how you think and how you will react to certain things. To see how to best manipulate you. Now, why is this important? Well, of course, having boundaries. Because you never know who you are dealing with. But here's the thing. I think it's equally if not more important to know this when you believe you are dealing with a narcissist. Because I've seen where people will still try to have a normal conversation with someone they think is a narcissist. Spilling their guts, so to speak, about everything they think and feel about a certain situation. And hey, I've done this plenty of times. Plenty of times. Talking to this individual like somehow they are going to see the light. And like my opinion matters. No. No. No, it doesn't. All you are doing by giving your opinion about things is giving them the playbook on how to better manipulate you. And if they are asking your opinion about things, they are simply asking for you to hand over that playbook. Take your time. Slow things down. Yes. Be engaging. But no. Know that you would be stepping into a trap as well. Again, the example of some people I've worked with. I noticed they asked questions here and there in meetings and focus groups. But nothing out of the ordinary. They watched and listened a lot. With picking their words carefully. Then out of nowhere they just left. Poof. Bye-bye. And for me that's a good playbook on how to handle these people. Now as a whole, speaking out about narcissism in blogs and videos helps. Because more and more people are walking away from narcissistic bosses and relationships. Which I think is a good thing. Which might just allow people to find a better situation for themselves. Possibly a better job. Or maybe they might start their own business. And or find a relationship with someone that really cares about them. People, it's okay to vet the situation you are in. It's okay to hold back your thoughts and not share it in a certain situation with certain people. Because if these people are going to just make you a target as a result, what's the point? However, once you realize that, you might find a better life direction for yourself. Instead of trying to be the fly smacking into the window, you will try another way. And that way isn't sitting down with a narcissist, hoping your opinion matters, regardless if they asked for your opinion to begin with. Because if they asked for your opinion, you better believe it's a trap. With that said, that's all I have for now. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.